So let me just clear this up.
EU is too hard, let's skip it.
Nah, we're not skipping EU. We've left the difficult one to last, but we're gonna give this a go as well. I was thinking about whether I would do these separately or together, and I decided to do them separately because it's just too difficult at the moment
You're
to
out with the
know.
lads having a look in Rocket League and you fancy soccer at Neo Tokyo, but then your mate Shogun, the absolute legend, the Archbishop of Banterbury, says, "Oi brevs, let's have a cheeky rumble instead," and you think, "Top, let's gingerly it."
Let's gingerly it. Is that what I thought? I don't know about that. Thanks for that, 250 bits, Korax. I really appreciate it. But yeah, like I said before, I do think that doing these separately makes more sense right now, with how difficult it is to rank or to know who's doing well and who's not doing well, with EU and NA completely separated at the moment. So let's see how you guys do in EU. It's the same thing as before. Who is the best? Twitch chat. I leave it up to you. We're gonna save this as a draft so that we can come back and remove one.
Johnny, if Tardpole doesn't make your list, there will be
0 is first.
Lol.
Okay, fine. We shall put a lot first in alphabetical order. There we go. Okay, so let's create this poll and see what Twitch chat have to say. If you want to vote, click on the poll in chat right now and vote for who you think is the best player on this list. You kid design thanks to the £3.30 and Erotic thanks to 250 bits.
APAC players next, then South America.
I don't know about that, but we'll see. The minor regions I don't know so much about, I'm not gonna lie. Arch Dictator, thanks to the 4-month prime, much appreciated. Yeah, K-Dop's taking number 1, there's no surprise there. So let's just remove K-Dop from the list and go for number 2. These are going to be coming out pretty quickly, so you have to be fast, guys. You got to click on all these polls quickly if you want to get your votes in. And I'll put K-Dop number 1 for Twitch chat's vote here. We've got Scrub, Fairy, Alpha, Cux coming in next by the looks of things. Alright, so yeah, Scrub's taking number 2 according to Twitch chat. Let's say the next one as a draft. Okay, who's going to be number 3? Click on this poll to get number 3 voted for. The first few for these are really, if it's really one-sided, I'm just gonna go with it early. Okay, it's between Fairy and Alpha. A lot of votes coming in here. Fairy's getting most of them. Okay, we'll give it to Fairy there. He's a good bit ahead, a very good bit ahead. Okay, so we've got the entire Vitality lineup already, according to Twitch chat. Let's go for number 4. Number 4 poll is in the chat now. We're absolutely smashing through these. Okay. Holy cow, Alpha's getting a lot of votes. Alpha's crushing this. He's got 60% of the votes. Okay, I guess Alpha is the best of the rest, according to Twitch chat. So number 4 goes to Alpha. 3 was Fairy. Let me just create the next poll. Poll for 5th best player is currently live. Okay, Chaussette is taking this, then Devo, then Cux, then Ronicky, and then Turbo. 8-Arm Devil, thanks to 20-month prime. I really appreciate that. Okay, so Chaussette is miles ahead. You guys are making this so one-sided. It's super easy to see who's going to win it. I love it. Alright, next one. Who's 6th? Okay, Chaussette takes number 5. It's Devo, Cux, Ronicky, Bluey, Tadpole, Farah, Fruity in here. Yeah, it looks like Devo's going to be winning this one. It's a little bit more spread out this time. Correct, thanks to the 250 bits,
How
mate.
many times will I vote? Al0T lol, who do I think is the GOAT? Al0T lol, how much did Mouse get butterfly? Al0T lol, how many RLRS teams will Linus defeat? Al0T lol.
Brian has ruined that meme. Okay, vote for number 7 in the chat right now. Click on that poll. Devo won that one. Devo won number 6. Okay, this is finally a close one. Cux, Ronicky, Bluey, Tadpole, Farah, Turbo, a lot. They're all in the mix. Looks like Cux has been ahead since the start though, and he's ahead by a fair bit. So we'll give it to Cux. Cux is Twitch chat's number 7. Alright, there's the poll for number 8. What about Justin? Justin is not a European player. Okay, we got Ronicky, Bluey. Ronicky's getting a lot of votes here, and so is Bluey. Farah, Tadpole, Turbo, a lot. Fruity. Yeah, Roniki's winning this one, isn't he? Yeah, pretty safe bet on Roniki there. Winning number 8. Where was Roniki? Got to get rid of him. There he goes. See you later, Roniki. Okay, number 9. We're the very end of the line here almost. Let's see who gets it. Bluey did have second place last time, so I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, Bluey's starting to run away with this one. He's got way more than anybody else. We just... Yeah, that's a Bluey for the next one. Farah was way behind in second. So Bluey takes number 9. Don't actually need to save this. This is number 10, the last one, who is the 10th best player in EU RLCS, according to Twitch chat. Got Tadpole, a lot, Farah, Fruity, Turbo, all getting votes. It is looking like it might be between Tadpole and a lot. Have I? I might have. The Tadpole might be the best thing that ever happened here. I don't believe this. I didn't mean to do that. But Tadpole's actually going to do this. The gap is widening. There's no coming back from that one. So that I'll go ahead and confirm that. A lot is not coming back from this. A lot is not coming back from that. So Tadpole takes number 10 according to Twitch chat. Okay. Let me get my list up here before I reveal in reverse order what I've gone for. I made a typo. I didn't make any typos. Not this time. You got 4 of the top 5 are French. Yeah, you're right. They are in your guys' list. Okay, so I think my list is more different this time than it was last time. But you know, you guys nearly guessed who my number 10 is going to be. I don't believe it. I thought this was never going to be close to being voted for. I never in a million years thought anybody's going to vote for my number 10. But he almost got it. I've got a lot at number 10. You guys don't. You nearly had it. So that, wow, I'm already surprised, because a lot for the last few seasons has been super low in the stats, low score per game, you know, almost putting up no numbers compared to everybody else. And people are saying, yeah, but he's still a top player. He just does other stuff, you know? He's like cherry picker or something. That's what everybody's always saying about him. But this season, a lot actually had crazy good stats. I was blown away, actually. I did not think that a lot was going to be like putting up numbers on the board, but he was. And Mouse had a couple of bad game 5s, but finally, I really expected this. This is how I thought the season was going to go. A lot's going to get picked up by Mouse. When they picked him up, I was like, okay, they're going to grab a lot. Not going to work out. Then they're going to bench him because they've had previous success without him and they've not succeeded with him, so they're just going to bench him. But after seeing how well he's done, you know, I don't know if they're going to make it through the promotion tournament, because EU promotion tournament's a bit more tricky. But I would actually be surprised if a lot doesn't make it back into an RLCS team, even if they do get relegated, because he really looked impressive this season. He's at his best season for a while, actually, even though they got into the relegations, in my opinion. So yeah, I had Drippe in my NA list. He got sent to relegations, but I still think he's a top 10 player. And this season, for the first time ever, I think a lot's a top 10 player, but he's into relegations. So I was going to put him in my top 10 just for the first time ever. I thought he's actually deserving of it. Hey, Creepsy G, thanks for the Prime sub. Really appreciate that. And Noodleman Hours, thanks for the 4-month Prime. Welcome back. It's mad, because every other season I feel like a lot might have been in a top 10 for Twitch chat, but not for me, and now it's the opposite. He's had really good contribution. He's actually been making moves. He's doing a lot for his team. But yeah, EU is pretty tough. It's a short season. You get caught on the wrong side of a couple of series that you're supposed to be at least keeping close. You get relegated, or you go to relegation. Simple as that. But you can't just say, oh, that guy is in relegations, therefore he's not in your top 10. For example, Cuxer97. Okay, at number 9, I have another one that you guys don't have, and that is Farah. And for much of the same reasons that I just talked about for a lot, he's usually not the player. Farah is not usually a player who is putting up good numbers in statistics. He's not often getting too much score per game, but he's doing a lot of other stuff off the ball and actually contributing to his team in other ways. There's never been any debate on that. But this season, Farah actually stepped up a lot in terms of what he's contributing to his team, and they've got 3rd seed for LAN. I think he's been a big part of that, in fact. You know, it would have been easy if I'd put Fruity in here. I think everybody would be like, yeah, makes sense. But just, you know, Farah, despite the fact that he's not doing the flashiest plays, and his car looks like it's really heavy because I don't know how he always makes it look so heavy, but Farah's car designs, they always look like they're moving backwards because he makes them look so heavy. But yeah, I actually rated Farah's performance this season. I think he's done extremely well, and I've got him as a top 10 player for this season's EU RLCS. Don't think he'll be a top 10 player at LAN. Don't think he might not even be a top 20 player at LAN. But for this season's EU RLCS, which is the purpose of this list, I've got Farah at number 9. Okay, my number 8 goes to Cuxer97. So we're almost the same here. Oh, I've misspelled it. Sorry. There we go. Cuxer97. So I'm almost agreeing with you guys here. I think Cux had another good season. Didn't expect him to have as good a season as he did. I thought Speed was going to do a lot more of the carrying for Flipside this time, and Cuxer wasn't going to have to do as much. But Cux is actually just insane. And after talking to another few RLCS players this season, yeah, everybody still rates Cux really highly. He's still a beast. He just scores goals. He's, I think he was top goals per game in the overall RLCS EU, if I'm not mistaken. And a crazy like score distribution between himself, Speed, and Mystic, which, you know, it's not everything, but you can't ignore it. Like, Cux just gets stuff done. And if he could start to do that outside the game as well, not having to be woken up for scrims by his neighbors, then that would, I think, make him one of the most desirable players to get for your team in the world, not just EU. He's just a monster. Cux is insane. And this season, although they were going into relegations, I think he overall played definitely like a top 10 player. Just didn't work out for the Bricks guys. They could, if we go back to I think it was week 1, the Bricks played with Speed in America. If Speed's in EU for that series, I think the Bricks probably beat Triple Trouble, and they could have a very, very different season ahead of them. But that's not how it worked out. They had Speed in NA, and it didn't prove to be a good idea. That's how, you know, that's how things go when you have a season as short as this. You can't afford a bad week. You just can't. So I've got another player that you guys have got here, and that's Deevo. Just one lower. So this is interesting. You guys had Deevo 6, Cux 7. I've got Deevo 7, Cux 8. But yeah, Deevo going into DreamHack Leipzig, I was not sure what to expect from him because I thought his best days were behind him, mostly due to not putting time into the game like he used to when he was definitely, I think, best player in the world, season 2, 3. Yeah, he somehow got back up there. I think it probably is because he's moved to Barcelona and he's in a team house now, and he's starting to play the game a lot more regularly, and it shows. This guy is definitely getting back up to his best, and had it not been for a really bad matchup against Vitality twice, not so bad the second time, but certainly the first time, I could see Deevo higher up this list. But yeah, Deevo, I almost put him at 6 or 5. It was close, but I had to settle for 7 for Deevo because I think the players just above him have edged him just by a touch. But yeah, number 6 for me is Fairy. So I've got him a bit lower than you guys. I don't have Fairy peak top 5. That's because he was relatively quiet in the regional championships. He was, you know, very solid during league play, much better than last season, but I don't think his regional championship performance was too crazy. And although K-Dop is bringing out the best in him, yeah, he's had a little bit of identity crisis with cars, and you know, for me, I think he has to be the lowest. Spoiler alert, of the Vitality players. I think and you guys also had him the lowest out of the Vitality players, to be fair. So yeah, I've got him at number 6, because I think that for his team, although he's still done insanely well on Vitality, I think the contribution that Fairy made for his team was less than the contribution that a couple of players I'm putting above him had for their respective team. And one of them is going to be Alpha 54 at number 5. So I'm almost agreeing with you guys on this one, but bear in mind I wrote down my top 10 before I had a look at Twitch Chat's top 10. So this is already set in stone for me. I've got Alpha 54 at number 5. I don't think he was MVP of the season. I don't know how he ended up getting MVP of the season, but yeah, for his team, I think he was probably the best contributing player. I think that for Barcelona, Alpha 54 really showed up. He carried them into RLCS, and he's carried them through it. It's been a very impressive debut season for him. but I can't put him any higher than number 5 because I think for his team, he didn't do as much as a couple of other players did. I think Alpha, he didn't have to because he had Deevo and Bluey in his team, who are both pretty insane. And I've also got Deevo in my top 10, but a couple of players who I've got ahead of Alpha here are not gonna be in that same category. But yeah, number 4, I have Ronicky. Where did you guys have him? Number 8. You had Ronicky number 8. I've got Ronicky number 4, and I think he may actually have been a top 5 player before our RLCS started. It's debatable, but he might have actually been a top 5 player EU before RLCS started this season, and he's just played to his potential. He's done really well. A lot of people might think, whoa, Ronicky overperformed when they see Triple Trouble making LAN and they see Ronicky making moves. They might think, whoa, Ronicky really showed up, didn't he? But if you'd been following Ronicky before that, you'd know that this is what you should expect from this guy. He's really insane. And I am looking forward to seeing him play RLCS for sure. I would not be surprised if he makes some big moves, because they had a bit of a rough patch in the off-season, but after they got through that, they seem like they're right back to winning ways, and Ronicky's been like the one consistent thing for Triple Trouble all the way through the season. Cassio's insane mechanically, but he's been up and down with his consistency. Tadpole's still got a bit to go before I think he's at the top level in terms of just mechanics and ability to keep up with a really world-class game. But Ronicky's certainly there already. I think he's at the very top level in terms of mechanics and also just in-game contribution, and did more for Triple Trouble than Alpha did for FC Barcelona as a percentage when you take all the players into account, in my opinion. Whoa, RJC, thanks for the 10,000 bits. What on earth? Where did that come from? Well, I appreciate that though. Thank you so much, man. And Bonnie over the 6-month Prime as well. Welcome back. Noodle Man Hours with the 4-month Prime. Welcome back to you as well. But yeah, let's continue on here into the top 3. So I have in 3rd place Scrub. Don't have him top 2. I've decided to give that to someone else. But I've got Scrub 3rd, just a little bit lower than you guys did. I think he did pretty good overall. Not the best on his team, obviously. It's hardly a spoiler for me to say that. But I've got Scrub top 3. I think this is a really good place for him to be right now. He's realized, like I've known for quite some time, that K-Dop is, probably just the best player in the world. And now that he's got the best player in the world in his team, he's looking like a far better version of Scrub than we saw last season. Because he's not having to ball chase to come back in games. He's just ball chasing and they're already ahead. And he's like, cool, I'll just ball chase. Because we're already winning. I guess I'll just ball chase and the other team have no way to come back. But yeah, number 2 is, for me, Shawset 45. And, of course, obviously, number 1 is K-Dop. So, yeah, you guys had Shawset at number 5. I've got him at number 2. Listen, Shawset is absolutely peaking at the right time. I really do think that Shawset has, found his groove. He, last season, RLCS, I had him at the top 10 as a top 10 player coming out of that LAN, and now in this season of RLCS he's somehow found a way to get even better. So yeah, that's why I've got Shawset in 2nd place. I think for what he did for PSG to get them into LAN was nothing short of spectacular. This guy is a monster, absolute monster. And yeah, obviously K-Dop's number 1. Need I say any more? Come on. Look what happened when K-Dop left Big and joined Vitaly. He's number 1 by a mile. Yeah, Roshi, thanks for the 250 bits. Claydop. Wasn't me. I keep fat fingering and misspelling names. But yeah, that's my top 10. So you might not like it, but that's what it is. This is my top 10 for this season of RLCS. Tried to, for EU, because some of the picks in the middle of the pack were more difficult. I was thinking, how do I separate the middle of the pack? Who am I going to choose for 8, 9, 10? Because it was a bit easier to know who I'm going to choose for the very top of the EU list. They were really obvious, but choosing the players for the bottom was harder. So I decided to put players in who I thought did more for their team, and they were Cux. I think he was a beast for his team. Not enough to get out of relegations. A lot. I think he had an insane season as well. Not enough to get out of relegations. And Farah, who, for the first time in a while, at least that I can remember. He's really starting to show up on the numbers side of things, as well as being a very smart player. Do top 10 world? We'll save that for actual RLCS. I think we'll save that for the actual LAN. But yeah, what do you guys think? Type 1 in chat if you think the Twitch chat's list is better. Type 2 if you think my list is better. I think I might lose this one according to Twitch chat, but I don't really mind. I don't really mind. You guys just put Vitality at the top. How original is that? Very original stuff. Yeah, you guys had all of Vitality, all of Barcelona, 2 Triple Trouble players, Cucks and Chaussette. How original. I was surprised to see so many question marks. I mean, I knew that some of you would be like, what? With a couple of my placements, but man, a lot of you are either confused or need to rewatch RLCS if you're really that concerned about some of the placements I went for. Hey, enough question marks right now. No Fruity. I decided to go for Farah over Fruity in my top 10 because I think they both, Fruity had a couple of Fruity had a couple of epic beans, unfortunately for him. You don't lose points for things like own goals. You don't get punished for that statistically. Listen, Farah's just had a good season in my opinion. I stand by my list. I think it's a pretty solid list. I think my NA and EU lists are both pretty solid. I'm happy with them. I looked at them, I thought, yep, that is a good list.